My name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 2 in my design team project for the collaboration kit between Collage Type and Tatty Treasure, and it's called Memories of the Meadow. Now, that's the name of the kit also. All the links will be below the video for Tanya and Nanine and their stores and Facebook groups and YouTube channels and all that good stuff. So we've got our book put together, and it opens. You can open it like this, or you can just page through and start here and then just go back and have 2 more pages. We put the cover on, we put the back on, we put these little annoying ribbons on, and now we're going to do pages 1 and 2. If I can get to them. Pages 1 and 2. Oh, because that's the back and this is the front. Well, just look at me go. Alright, so page 1. I've got everything here. Let's move page 2 out of the way. Put page 2 up there, and I did a little bit of work ahead of time. Let's move this out. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside, and remember we've inked everything, so when we put our paper on it'll look like branches all the way around, so that's good. And we're just going to work with the paper right now. This is the paper for page 1. And I've already inked it. And what we're going to do is we are going to, oops, that's page 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a crisscross belly band using our leftover manila folder, and then we're also going to make a large notebook to go inside, and we're going to obviously have to trim everything down because these are actually pages from the kit. I went back and printed on both sides, and then I made a mistake and realized I had printed both sides, and some of them were not able to be writing cards, even though these could have been because they're printed with writing on the back. But a lot of them I decided to be creative and print stuff like this on the back, and the front was already stuff like this. So this matches this area of the collage page, so I thought that would work well. So let's set this notebook aside. So we'll do that last. And let's work on these. Now, I'd like to put some paper on these, like a strip down the middle. So we don't have any scraps yet. So that's going to present a difficulty. Not as bad of a one as we think, but a difficulty. Yeah. So here's the paper. We want to score these at 1/2 inch. Looks like it's going to be about right. This one's the one we're going to have to cut. So we're going to have to cut this. I inked both sides, so depending on what we were going to do, and they're 1.5 inches wide each. So this one is going to be about here. And this one is going to be the length. So we're going to, first we're going to cut this one. There's a scrap. Not the right kind of scrap, but it is a scrap. So this one, we're going to score right here. I don't know if that's exactly 1/2 inch. That almost looks more like 1/4 inch. And then we're just going to score this one at 1/2 inch. And take my blade out. Put my scoring tool in. And we're going to score this here. Okay. And then we're going to score this one at 1/2 inch. Okay. And put our blade back on. I'm not happy with this scoring tool. It keeps coming apart. I keep having to fix it, which is not a happy day for me. I'm just going to put the pieces up there. Sorry about the arms. Okay. My voice is doing pretty good so far, but it may go downhill as we go along, so if it does, I apologize. So we're going to fold this over. And we're going to fold this over. Oh, you know what I did? Is I did not score this on both sides. I should have left extra. Well, you know, we could change our plans here, since that's a smidge short anyway. And we could make them both open instead of just the top one. Let me think about that for just 1 second. Made them both open. That would definitely be something a little bit different. Okay, so let's do this bottom one first. We're going to glue it on the fold. Now we're going to be using magnets to hold them shut. And as you can see, they're inked on the back, and so you would see the magnet. So we're going to have to take a piece of offcut or ephemera or something. And I haven't got the ephemera cut yet. Because there's so much of it, and it looks like I'm going to have to cut it almost all by hand. So I'll do that after this video and get it inked. I'm going to go through and determine what are the most likely ones that we're going to use. Alright, now let's get this in the middle. Okay, so now we've got that. Now let's put our magnets on. I'm going to have to get some more already. So we're going to be using 4 instead of 2. So we're going to glue a magnet or tape a magnet I'm trying to get the smallest piece of tape I can that will hold the magnet. That's the one good thing about having dies setting out, they grab the magnets. Okay, so let's flip this up and put our magnet about here in our wider area. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Oh, I just had a bagel, and I put everything bagel seasoning on it, and it's so good. It's got everything that's on a bagel that you could have. So it's got like onion and I almost said black olives, poppy seeds, and all that kind of good stuff on it. But now I feel like my tummy did not really want that. And we can make some little tucks here and put a little card in. Okay, so now we have the little one and the big one. And the reason I keep turning it around this way is because the writing up here, I feel like if it goes this way, it looks right side up to me. If the text were to go this way, it would look upside down to me. Okay, so let's mark that as the top for when we go to glue it down. So right now we want it to be on this side, and there's a magnet there and another magnet there. You can use a bigger piece of tape on the back. This is going to get glued to the page. You do want to try to keep it as flat as possible, though. Okay, so we've got that done. So all we need to do now is make our notebook. And you'll notice the notebook matches this down here. So what we need to do, I would say, would be to cut 1 inch off all the way around. So otherwise, well, wait a minute. That would be 2 inches, wouldn't it? Let's cut a 1/2 inch, and then we'll test it and see. Wonder if I can do all these at once. I figured it would go through that if it could go through cardboard. Now we have some little scraps. Not very helpful at all. We'll do a 1/2 inch off the side. And then we'll put it in here and we'll see. Now I did put in here the regular cardstock writing paper, and it's printed on both sides. And then the inside of each cover is also printed. So let's see how that goes inside here. Yeah, I don't think that's going to fall out. Let's just do this, and then when the person uses it up, all they have to do is replace the notebook. Like so. And I forgot to ink the notebook pages, which actually I think I'll do off camera. I'll just have to remember to go back and ink them. Put that one that way and that one that way. Now I think I definitely want a rectangular piece of paper across. Let's see what we've got. We've got these full pages. seem awful busy. I mean, as far as putting them together. So let's take a look at some of these pages. I've cut all the pages in half. Some of these, I think these are all the ones that were big prints on the back. I'd use them for putting on a page this way or putting on a page that way. They didn't really turn out like writing cards. So, not those either. So, let's take a look at the collage. Well, the collage is going to go on the next page. So, what about this pattern? I don't know, that's kind of bland. You know what we could do? I could get a book page and we could collage down the center. Because we've got this book page here. Then we run into the flower. I hadn't really thought that far ahead. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put the page in. Then I'm going to ink the notebook and put the papers on here. I don't know though, once we get it in the book, we might like it just stamped. And not inked or anything, but I think I'm going to decide that on the fly. So let's put this in our book. Keep going like this. We should be able to get both of them done. Hopefully, the next one's an envelope. So we'll see. There's not that many pages in this book, and we do need the basics. You know, things to write on. Things like that. Cards, notebooks, envelopes. So, this may not be groundbreaking, but it's going to be pretty, and it's going to be pretty darn useful. You'll be able to just take it with you real quick and not have to worry about it. You can just grab it up. Okay, that's the top. Wow. Okay, that's because I had it turned upside down. Probably won't do that very much. Okay, top. If I have to, I'll take a page out of the notebook if it's too heavy. And now I've got the outside on both sides, so I don't have the grid paper or the writing paper on the outside and the back. I have it on the inside and the back. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Yeah, apparently it was because I turned it completely upside down. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely not going to cover the tab. But once we get some scraps, we should be able to come along and paper in here. And we have to paper to cover our magnets too. Or what if I inked this and put it up the center? That's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at that. It's the back side of the writing paper. See, if we use that side, it just blends right in. But this side, once it's inked up, I think it looks pretty good. Now, the problem is, the other side. What does this look like with the ink on it? Is it dark enough? I think that'll be alright. Okay, I'll put these two pieces on. I have to trim this one. And I got that big ink spot in the middle of it. I know some people, randomness is their life, but I'm not really that person. Okay, so if we put this across the middle of this one, a little bit of a piece left over there. Sorry about the top of my head. I'm trying to make sure it's centered on this half. Okay. And then we'll put this on this one. We didn't have to trim it. Because it's the remnant of what we cut off from the notebook. So it's going to be smaller because the notebook is smaller. Sorry about that. I do have my phone turned off, but it does that anyway. It's usually the pharmacy or something. Yeah, like that. Okay. All right. Now, on the next page, I'm going to look at my notes here. Okay, so on the next page we have a bunch of stuff going on. This is our page, or our paper. And I've already inked it. Now we're going to bank an envelope, but we're going to put a window in it. Now, I know you can get windowed envelopes. I know you can get junk journal or junk mail envelopes and do this. But the reason I like making the envelope opening for this is because I can control where the window goes and all that good stuff. So let's keep these to the side, except for this one. You see why I was worried about the accordion one on page 1, because it matched too much. I didn't want the whole thing to be matchy-matchy. Okay, like I was saying, we don't want this to match too much with the first page. So that's why we couldn't use the page I was originally going to use for the page. This is the front side of the envelope. We're going to put the envelope on the page like this, so that means we're going to have to trim it down to size. Let's see if that was, yep, that's the first thing we're going to do. So let's put this even with the bottom of the page. And then we'll make a mark. We're going to cut our envelope off at that point. And even though the back is open, and I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but you'll see why in a minute, I want to go ahead and paper the envelope on the front. That means we should ink it, at least the front. We're going to try to cover up the fact that this is a white envelope. So you're going to want to ink it pretty good. And then we'll ink the back side of it when we get done here in just a minute. We're going to deconstruct the envelope so it doesn't matter that the top is not glued. My phone is just dinging. And there goes Oz. Let's see. Sorry for my head. Now, let's hope this fits. Got a couple more skinny scraps, but nothing more substantial yet. Okay, now this paper's directional. It's got writing on it. So you want to make sure that you put it on the right way, and you want to ink it. And remember, we're just doing a light inking on the papers. So you don't have to do that near as much as you were the envelope. In fact, I haven't been inking it to where it shows on the papers themselves, really. Just enough to knock the white off the edges. You don't want to put a bunch of glue off in the middle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a window in the envelope. But I didn't want to have to trace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the envelope apart so it will fit through my Big Shot. Just carefully pull these apart. This particular brand, which I don't know what it is, but I would have to say inexpensive would be the operative word. Usually come apart pretty well. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to cover the backside with paper anyway. But the we do want to save this piece. The Big Shot will only take 6 inches wide. So let me go take care of that alarm real quick. So I'm going to put you on pause. And then, I thought I got all the Cheeto dust out of my fingers, but I guess I didn't, because we have a little bit of Cheeto going on there. But I'm going to cut a hole in the envelope using my die and my Big Shot. And it's going to be... could be that big, actually. I usually do this big. I think maybe we should do that. I wonder if we should put the window in the center. Let's put it up closer to the top. All right, I'm going to put you on hold while I do that, because we only have so much time with these videos. You know, this is not the time for me to be demonstrating how to use the Big Shot. Okay, we'll be back in just 1 second. We've got our window cut out, and the next thing we want to do before we do all this, hooking it back up together, is we want to go ahead and ink the window so we don't forget. And then I'm going to turn around and grab some acetate because I forgot to get it out. Try not to over ink the window either. It's kind of hard because you got to get that down in there. Okay. Let me turn around and grab a piece of acetate. I bought mine in a big pad. And I wish I had gotten one layer heavier. That one bigger piece should be big enough. We'll see here in just a minute. And keep a paper clip on the other so I can keep track of them. This is what the center from the envelope looked like. We can keep that, use it for a little pocket or something. Okay, so we're going to put this over the window. Let me get my Sharpie marker. Okay, and we're going to put some glue around the window hole, around the window. Then we're going to put half of the envelope back together so that we can still reach in, because we need to put some paper in behind here. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like from the front. Be a nice big window. And let's see. How do I want to do this? This goes on like this. No, that's not right. How am I going to get it to go back on the way it was? There we go. So it was on like that. So let's glue that back on. Let me do that. And then we're going to glue this part back up. Since the envelope was nice enough to stay open for us. Oh, I shouldn't have put glue in the center right there. It's going to hit that acetate. I didn't even realize. Okay. Piece of black something or other there. Oh, it was on the front side. Okay, so now you realize we need to cover this. So I had a piece of paper. And this is the back of the envelope, and this is the inside of the envelope. So all we need is a piece to cover the window. I threw a piece of paper away in the wrong spot. Okay, so we're just going to do it like we were doing a pocket, which we're going to be doing here in a minute. You just want to put it in. Actually, this paper should fit straight in there, shouldn't it? Oh no, because we cut it. Okay, so we want to come down to here. So we want it to be that long, and we'll worry about the width here in just a second. Boy, my head hurts. In between the two videos, or where the break was, I took a nap, and as I was falling asleep, I fell off my couch. You know, like I fell asleep and fell forward and fell right off my couch. It was quite painful. I hit my head on the TV tray, like right between the corners of it and the couch. So it hit both of my temples at the same time. Pretty much rung my bell, woke me up, that's for sure. It doesn't look wide enough. I think I must have cut it the wrong way. Well, I think it will be, but just barely. I'd like to get a wider piece than that. Let's see, where's the end of our window? We'll try it and see. Yeah, I think I want just a smidge. Well, we don't really need it, do we? We'll get that glued in. Now, I don't want to drag it across the acetate and make a big smear. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to glue the top side right now. I'm just going to get these inside edges. And of course I glued it backwards. I'm going to go just a little bit wider. The length seemed to be fine. It's Now we have another scrap. And that should work better. Oz. Much better. Okay, so we're going to glue this side. And we're going to put the glue side towards this side. And then that way we won't have to glue the back side. And it'll be much easier on us. Yeah, there we go. Looks like I did get a little bit of glue on the acetate. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we are going to add a magnet. So let's go ahead and do that. Because we're going to need a magnet to hold this shut. So we want to do that before we paper it. So we're going to need 2 magnets. We need one for the envelope and one for the back of the paper. Let me stick this one up here. Okay. So I want it to be, so we're going to fold, I'm not going to fold that shut. So I think I want it to be about here. We'll be covering it, so it doesn't matter how big of a piece of tape you use. Just make sure it's big enough to hold the magnet in. We're going to be papering over it, so don't worry about it coming off. Okay, so now we've got that. And you want to make sure everything's right side up. And we're going to glue it to the paper. Let's make sure our paper's right side up. Which it wasn't. Now, when you glue, make sure to put a little bit of extra glue on the pre-sealed area, because once the glue gets wet on it, then it activates it, and it really wants to stick where it is immediately, and we want to be able to smear it around a little bit. Get it all lined up. If I knock that bottle over one more time, you guys just kick me, huh? So we want it right up against the edge. But we still want to be able to close it. Okay? Looks like there's a little spot right there. Okay, now that we've got this on here, we've got the magnet here, now we can flip this over. We can put the magnet on the back side. And tape it down. I almost thought, oh no, we put the thing on the paper. I am so silly. I don't know if I can see that or not, but I'll be wondering, like, what is that? Be easier to write bottom down here, wouldn't it? Not really. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to paper the back of the envelope. We're going to do it with writing paper. So let's do it just like we did the front. Except we're going to ink the back of the envelope since we didn't do it before. So you want to make sure you get any white part that you might potentially see. Just be careful because you already have the paper on this side. You don't want to overdo it and come around and ink, you know, this area too much. Okay, so now we're going to do this. We're going to cut the paper. Okay. Looks like it should be right. Remember, we're not inking this one very much, just lightly. We're not trying to shabby it down or anything. I can hear my phone way in the other room. Okay, glue this down. Now, when we paper this, the reason we do this before cutting the side for our pocket is because we want the paper to be right up on the edge. We don't really want to see the envelope at all, if we can help it. Because remember, it's white, and our whole scheme is not. Okay. Now, we're just going to take this part here that we just glued, and give that a second, cover everything up here. Give it a second to dry because I'm going to put it in my trimmer. Okay, let's switch videos here for just 1 second. Okay, so now we're back. Did you miss me? We're going to take this, open it up flat. Where's our magnet? Oh, it's way back here. Okay, we're just going to trim a hair off the edge for the envelope opening. then all we need is a card. Did I set something aside for the card? I don't think I did. Let's see. We could try to match. That would match in there, wouldn't it? Let's see what it looks like. Maybe we could get away with one of these papers. I don't know though. They have a lot of a pattern to them, don't they? I mean, you know, it's pretty loud against that. These are all greens. I think that's why I set them to aside to be writing cards. Oh, look at that. That would be kind of pretty. If we could get that to cut. I realize it's upside down. Oh, I think we could. This is the side we want to keep, so you want to put that in and make a mark far enough down that you've avoided the glue, hopefully. No wonder that seems so weird. I had 2 pieces. Okay, now I lost my mark. Where did I mark it? I've lost my mind. Oh, there it is. I'm going to try to get this flower in this window. So when we go to make it shorter, we're going to trim off the other end. I just want to make sure we've got the height now. It's catching on the edge of the envelope where it's folded in. I think it's still a little too tall. You know what I mean? Where the V is, it's kind of catching on that. A pain in the patootie, because we know it goes in up to here. There we go. Okay, so we want to save this side, so we want to put this side in even though it's backwards. Oh yeah, that was the problem. There was the glue problem. Then we want to trim it out about this far. Make sure that's our text side. So this is what we're going to cut off, and that's our text. And we're going to have a little bit of it stick out so that we know the card is there. Now, it's going to be a little dark on the back side. Look at that. I guess we didn't leave a little bit of it to stick out, did we? Oh, we did, but not much. There we go. Just like that. Now, I'm not going to do it in this video. But what we're going to do, I mean, I'll do it off camera. What we're going to do is we will add a pocket across the bottom and leave the writing space here. And then we have the card here. And I may do a little bit of stenciling in the corner down here, but it's got this on both corners. And this might be a good place to put some of that faux washi, now that I think about it. Put it right across there for decorative effect. So the couple things we have left to do to this page are very simple. A couple pockets and a little bit of ephemera. You don't want to make this pockets too deep, because when you want to stick your ephemera in there, you don't want it to cover up your window where your flower is. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and glue this in the book. Put that little note on there, whatever that means. I think it just said use the front and not the back. Let's see how it looks. Oh, that looks nice against that one. Okay. Let's get it glued in. And this is such a big envelope, that's why we use the magnets to hold it shut. Opened back up. Get our ribbons out of the way. That's what makes this book so fun, but it makes it a little bit crazy when you're trying to put the stuff inside. Remember, you don't want to get any glue on your fingers and then turn around and get it on the acetate. Okay, so there's that. When it opens up, it'll have a pocket back here, a small one, with the little tickets, and then you can write on here. And then you'll have this beautiful page to look at. And on this side, we'll have a little pocket on the front, or a cluster that is a tuck spot or something like that. And hopefully by the time we do the next one, I'll have the ephemera cut up, and we can put a couple on just to get a general idea. I do have a scrap of this, which this is too high. Might work on the back though. As a tuck spot. We could cut it down just a little bit more so you can see the brown, and then make a tuck spot or a pocket out of it here. So I think I want to paper clip that there. That will look nice. It won't detract too much. It'll be lightly inked, but it won't detract too much from your writing space, but it won't leave this whole thing just empty. You'll have that little bit of a pattern there. Okay? Alright, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.